My friends, how are you? It is fantastic to see you for yet another video, and we are living in literally the dumbest timeline that has ever happened. Even Idiocracy would not have been able to come up with the absolute nonsense that we are living through in America right now. So you guys remember recently there was a Hyundai plant in Georgia that was raided by ICE, and all the people working there were detained. You remember that? I didn't get to cover it on this channel, unfortunately, because there was a lot of other stuff going on and I got a job to do and all that stuff, so I didn't get to cover this thing. So yeah, recently like 500 people from South Korea were detained by ICE at a Hyundai plant that's being set up in Georgia. It's a joint partnership between Hyundai and LG to make batteries. That's what the whole thing is for, right? What it is it's bringing manufacturing to America, and that's an important thing because that is sort of the premise of the entire goddamn video that I'm going to talk to you about. So some lady, I forget her name, I looked it up twice, I can't remember it, unfortunately. Some lady, you can look her up, she called in ICE to go bust up this Hyundai plant, and because she said there was slave labor going on there and illegal immigrants and all this stuff. And her name's Tory Branham or something like that, and she's running for Congress out of Georgia, and she is extremely proud of herself that she has helped ICE to detain all of these criminals, my friends. And she's a weird lady all by herself. She's very, very strange. For one, in this move, this phone call that she made to have ICE kick in the doors of this plant has cost Georgia, at least the state of Georgia, but possibly the United States economy, billions of dollars because of her absolute stupidity and her not knowing what was going on there that caused this whole thing to happen, right? And I listened to her talk a little bit. I could only take so much. She's as dumb as a fucking brick, my friends, but she's very arrogant about this whole thing and how she's a hero that helped save America. And somebody asked her about her election that's coming up and how is this going to look with that election, and she literally said, well, I'm running in a district that votes like 90% Republican, so I'm gonna win anyways. And you guys, that's important. We need to pay attention to that. That's what these Republicans fucking think is, well, I'm just gonna win. And that probably, you could probably find that on both sides. I don't like to both sides issues often. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of that, but there's probably Democrats comfortably in blue districts also that kind of feel that same way. But what they don't do is cost America billions of dollars in lost revenue because they're fucking stupid, like this lady did. So we both sides that as much as we could get away with, and then you get to the part where Republicans are dumb as fuck, and then you find the difference, my friends. That's where you find the difference in the two. But she is super proud of herself for her accomplishment, and is very short-sighted in understanding that she just cost the state of Georgia plenty of manufacturing jobs and plenty of revenue going into the future, but she don't fucking get it, right? Anyways, Brian Kemp is the governor of Georgia, right? And he has found himself in quite an interesting situation. Brian Kemp, the one that said, I love guns, vote for me. That was one of his campaign pitches. I'm not bullshitting you. This is the kind of shit you get out of these Republicans. He also was the guy that's like, I have a big old pickup. I'll round up the Mexicans myself. Vote for me. Brian Kemp, you know fucking Brian Kemp, right? Hardcore MAGA Republican, as dorky as they fucking come, right? Just saying hillbilly shit in a red district to get elected. Let's just think about that for a minute. Is that really something you can campaign on to, like most people, and really get away with it? Like, I really like guns. Vote for me. That's fucking silly. It's fucking goofy, my friends. But that's the kind of shit that flies in these red districts sometimes. Unfortunately, they've been watching too much of that goddamn Fox News is what's going on. Anyways, Brian Kemp has been caught up in the middle of this situation because now he's got to try to smooth this whole thing over, right? He's got to figure out, fuck, we just cost Georgia so much fucking revenue, a ton of revenue. And Georgia probably, I would say, is probably not like a poor or broke state. I mean, Atlanta's there. There's probably, I don't know their financial situation, but if the premise is right? If the premise is that we're going to bring back manufacturing to America, I've seen a few people comment on this, that basically this Hyundai plant was being done under Joe Biden's Chips and Science Act, and Donald Trump, I don't know that he scrapped it, but he either did or he wants to. I don't remember. You know why I don't remember? Because there's so much bullshit going on every day in Donald Trump's America. It's hard to fucking keep up with what's what. Anyways, I actually believe that. That was probably had to do with the Chips and Science Act. It's futuristic technology. It's bringing jobs to the American people. Sounds like something a fucking Democrat would do, if you ask me. Doing good for the American people? Yeah, that says Democrat all over it. Anyways, try to get back to the fucking point. Donald Trump one of the things he ran on was this fucking premise that we're going to tariff the ever-loving fuck out of everything that comes in from other countries. And that way it's going to bring manufacturing back to America, is what Donald Trump tries to tell us. Well, this whole situation kind of tips that whole fucking idea over on its fucking head, because this is how we do it when we are setting up to get manufacturing jobs in America. Now, what we've actually found out from it is Donald Trump really likes the tariffs because it puts the money into the federal, the government's bank account, and then Donald Trump gets a $400 million Qatari jet that's getting renovations, and Donald Trump gets fucking ballroom paid for by us off of the tariffs that we're paying on everything. Donald Trump fucking loves the tariffs because the tariffs are really good for Donald Trump, right? But he said it's going to bring manufacturing back to America. That's what we're going to do. Manufacturing's coming home, baby. And then this happens. Then this fucking stupid thing happens. And also, we got to get all the immigrants out of America because they're taking up all the American jobs and all this bullshit, right? That's going on. Anyways, these people were here from South Korea, and they were helping to set up this factory, and they were going to train the American workers on how to do the fucking job, which you would think would be kind of fucking important. You want to know what I know about assembling a fucking battery? Dick, I don't know a fucking thing about it, my friends. I would need somebody to teach me how the fuck to do this, and that's just the bottom line. That's how it goes. So anyways, this lady that I mentioned earlier in the video, very proud of herself, hires like a private investigator to go in, then calls ICE, says they're here, all the illegals are here in Georgia, come get them. ICE kicks the fucking door in, detains like 500 fucking people for 8 days. South Korea starts sending in planes to come recover their fucking citizens from America that are here legally, and not here legally on work visas, helping a business establish in America to produce revenue for the state and for the federal government, to produce jobs for the American people, and they just fuck the whole thing up, is what I'm trying to say. So anyways, Brian Kemp is on his way. I don't know if that meeting's happened yet. I just kind of heard about it this morning, but he's on his way to go to South Korea to meet with them about what's going on. And rightfully so, the South Korean people are pissed off. They're like, fuck these Republicans. We don't want nothing to do with them. We don't want to work with them at all. And it's very risky now for us to send people to America. And how do you go as the governor of one of the states? How do you go to a foreign country where 500 of your people were just detained for 8 days and say, hey, we want you to come back and do business with us, right? And a thing you need to know about Brian Kemp that I forgot to bring up, I was looking at different news articles about him before I did this video. And of course, the most recent are Brian Kemp is trying to smooth out this situation with South Korea. But 1 month ago, there was an article that Brian Kemp has mobilized the National Guard to help with ICE efforts. Yeah, it's the consequences of his own actions. Why do you guys think I call these Republicans fucking dumb all the time? The short-sighted sons of bitches. Like, I have mobilized the National Guard to assist with the ICE efforts in Georgia. ICE kicks the fucking door in on a Hyundai plant, detains 500 South Koreans. South Korea scrambles to bring their people back, and then he goes, fuck, how do we fix this situation? You know what, you dumb bastard, Brian Kemp? You never needed to be in this situation to begin with. One of the biggest problems in America right now, my friends, is these fucking spineless Republicans that are terrified to stand up to Donald Trump. They know full well what he's doing is wrong, but they're so goddamn worried about if they're going to win their next election or be able to hold on to whatever power they have, that they don't give a fuck to sell us out and let us go bankrupt and let us deal with the consequences of Donald Trump's fucking decisions. And Brian Kemp, as far as I can see, is 100% one of those people, and I only base that on the fact that a month ago he mobilized the National Guard to help ICE. I can only assume that he's a Trump bootlicker. I didn't dive into his fucking history and try to figure the fucker out. I kind of knew all I needed to know at that point. But anyways, back to the point. He's going to go over there and try to smooth this situation out. South Koreans are rightfully pissed off about what's going on, and I don't know what's going to happen. But if I'm the leader of South Korea, which I'm clearly not, but if I were, and 500 of my people were just detained, and you get this fucking bootlicking governor coming over and saying, hey, can you send your people back? The answer would be fuck no. I'm pulling the plug on the entire thing. I'm not going to help you because the solution starts here in America. The solution starts right here. What we have to do, the first thing we need to do, is stand up to Donald Trump Republicans. I'm talking to you, and acknowledge that this shit isn't okay and start doing your fucking jobs. And I understand that he's a governor, so he can't do a whole lot. But he could not mobilize ICE. Mobilize the National Guard to help Donald Trump. That's a good step. That's something you could do. But these other Republicans, you know, in the Congress and Senate, that just fall in line and do what they're told. Now's the time to stand up. He just destroyed Donald Trump's ICE, just obliterated that fucking business opportunity for the state of Georgia, for the American people. That's what just fucking happened, all right? And you have to think about this. On the world stage, at this point, Jesus Christ, what the fuck all has America done at this point? If you're brown, you're gonna get caught. You're gonna get snatched up in a van and thrown into a concentration camp, all right? Last I looked, at least 150 Canadians since the beginning of the year have been or are still detained by ICE just for being in our country legally, but for being here, right? You've probably got other examples, but you've got this example in particular. Another thing we need to look at is now the Trump administration is lying about the jobs numbers, and they can't even lie to make those look good because it's so fucking pitiful that they can't make it look like a good thing. But now they're lying about excuse me, about the actual job numbers in America. So if you're like the top dog in a foreign country that may have had some interest in working in America at some point, how exactly do you do that now? You can't make an informed decision because we're not giving out accurate economic numbers. We're putting out numbers that make Donald Trump feel good. And also, if you come over here, you are subject to being detained by ICE. I think this whole situation sends a very clear message to the rest of the world that we are not to be trusted. You cannot do business with the Americans right now because we're going to do some bullshit that is going to be harmful to your business, to your citizens, and none of it's fucking good at all. And this is how goddamn stupid this entire fucking administration is, my friends. This is how goddamn stupid it is. Our goal is to bring manufacturing back to America. We've got ICE running rampant through the fucking streets, and one part of the government didn't get the memo from the other part. Hey, don't fuck with the Koreans over there that are helping to set up a factory that's going to employ over its lifetime, however long that factory is being used, probably millions of Americans by the time it's all said and done, producing maybe not trillions, but billions of dollars of revenue for the state of Georgia and for the federal government and all the paychecks that it's going to generate for all the people that live there, potentially health insurance. I don't really fucking know. We don't really have that. We have it, but it costs all your money. The 401ks, the retirement plans, all this shit just up in fucking smoke over one dumb lady had to reel it in there just a little bit, just a little bit, that decided that she was not going to stand for this at all. This one lady, and of course Donald Trump's just absolutely absurd government, but this one lady has cost the United States so many billions of dollars, and she's running for Congress. And she'll probably win because the problem with Republican voters is that this shit's, they're gonna get off on this shit. They're gonna fucking love it. Look at her, she's getting all those Koreans out of the fucking country. Look at her go. Meanwhile, they're broke as shit. They can't find a fucking job, and the one job prospect they had just got shut the fuck down. But they're happy because at least there's no Koreans running around in Georgia, and that's really what we want in this fucking country. But seriously, my friends, any foreign countries out there cannot, in good conscience or even in like good faith, any kind of decent business decision, cannot do work with America at this point. This is the kind of shit that we're doing. So while they're saying the tariffs bring back manufacturing, that would require foreign countries to make an investment into American infrastructure, help set up that infrastructure, help train their workforce here in America. That would require people from other countries to be here to help fucking do it. Why is this so fucking hard to figure out, my friends? I don't get it. Anyways, I think Brian Kemp's fucked. If I were the Koreans, I would say, nope, we don't want anything to do with this. I just sell that fucking plant, whatever they can get for it at this point, and just start working with Canada. Maybe Canada would like a Hyundai plant. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Mexico would like a Hyundai plant. Or maybe they just keep it right there in Korea and say fuck it and to all of it. But right now, we have sent the message here in America that we are not reliable, we are not good to do business with, and we will detain your fucking people for showing up in the country to help us set up the infrastructure and training for a job. It's fucking absurd, my friends. Anyways, I gotta get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.